Let me use Christianity.
Okay, you go ahead.
Christianity. You know, in the Christian faith, they have the Orthodox Christians, and then they have the Gnostic Christians. Now, the Gnostic Christians are the ones who practice the occult teachings of Jesus Christ. You understand? Mm-hmm. In the occult teachings of Jesus Christ, someone like Judas Iscariot is a totally different person than how he's described in the Bible. Judas Iscariot was actually even the most loved of Jesus's disciples. He's the one who was really close to him. Mary Magdalene is not spoken about at all in the Christian faith. Mary Magdalene's gospel is almost the size, 2 sizes of our Bible. Thomas, the doubting Thomas, who, you know, we talk about as almost flimsily. He was brilliant. There is a gospel according to St. Thomas. That is also left out. Now, these gospels, within them, Jesus gives the truth. You understand? Jesus was a teacher. He wanted to present what he had known to all mankind. So you know that there's a place that he says, if you do what I do, if you practice the things that I practice, you will do greater things than I have done. Right? You've heard that one before. Good. So these things, those practices were taken out of the Bible. Maybe some priests might know, but they don't give it to the congregation. It's assumed that, you know, there's something that they say that do not throw diamonds before swine, because they won't understand. But the time has come. We are all mature. The human consciousness has risen. We're not in the time of Christ. You understand? The times have come, the times have changed. Mankind needs to know the real truth. So the Gnostic teachings must be made public so that people will read them and understand that practices like meditation were also taught by Jesus, because that's the only process that the person can actually internalize and find out whether there are different levels of awareness within him or herself.
Okay, so right now, these things that we've left out of the Bible and the church, is it somebody's doing, or it is we that decide not to find it?
As for us, we're Africans, right? We had our own traditional beliefs before the Christians came and brought us the Bible as they had written it, the King James one, which they had written. So we'll assume that they were the ones who took out the heavy substance. And they took it out not particularly for us. They had taken it out for their own population. You understand? They had propagated this washed down thing and held their people down. You can imagine a small monarchy of people ruling millions of people. So the monarchy, which was the state, and the church came together to a decision on how to keep people suppressed. And they gave out this thing that we call today Christianity. And it suppressed the European peoples themselves for hundreds of years before they brought it into Africa. So it wasn't like it was deliberate too. It was, you know, they knew what would come out of it.
So are you saying religion or Christianity is a control mechanism?
Yeah, to a large extent.
And what has it caused Africans, you see, as a continent?
The mind that we have is limitless. It's not something that can be restricted. But when it is restricted, then it means you assume certain things are beyond you, or certain things are not for your domain. Certain things you say that they are devilish. You get it? Like they say those things are pagan. Those things, those terminologies were used deliberately to stop people from seeking. But if you look into the Bible, it tells you from the beginning, knock, the door will be opened. Seek, you will find. Ask, and you will be, and the answers will come. Do we ask? Do we seek? Do we knock on the doors of knowledge to find out the truth about who we really are? We don't. And why don't we? Because religion keeps us in that straitjacket where we don't want to know. We don't want to know the unknown. We think the unknown is dangerous, but it's not.
Okay, so my last question, that we get into your topic. Mm-hmm. Right now, you said that you were trained in a particular place that all you knew about was atheism. Now, you came to meet your mother's book, mm-hmm. and then it gets on, and now you've gotten here. Mm-hmm. To gain your consciousness or to know who you are, mm-hmm. is it for everybody or is for a particular people? If yes, if no, why? Then you add this for me. No, answer this first.
Everybody is already seeking.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is already seeking. So far as the spirit is born in a human being, it is seeking. It is seeking to know the truth already. So everybody is already on the path towards knowing who they really are. Some will know in a lifetime. Some will have to die and be born again, so that they will come and learn again. Some people die and be born. Me like this, I probably had about 100 lives. But now I'm seeking for the real truth because I've tasted it and I know it's there. Do you understand?
Somebody will ask, I don't want to go into reincarnations because it will eat into our time. Mm-hmm. I was going to ask you, why or what made you think you have to come back here? Do we have to die and come back here?
The ancients, you know, all knowledge about God actually began from Africa. Africa is the source of all knowledge. The pyramids in Egypt were the first time that it was written down. On the walls of the pyramids of Egypt, this knowledge is there. It was this knowledge that was sent out into places like India, China, and became their religions also. You understand? So I think I've lost your question.
You've not lost it. I want to know if it's for everybody.
So it's for everybody.
It's for everybody.
It's for everybody. If you're only seeking to know.
If you're only seeking.
Yeah.
Were you seeking when you were studying were you seeking for the truth?
No.
You were not seeking for the truth?
I wasn't. I was studying economics. Mm-hmm. So that was what I was looking for. I was looking for a degree.
Okay.
So when I got my degree, I thought, yes, now...
So you were not seeking, but
no.
your mother laid a kind of a foundation for you. You can't talk about this without him. Hey.
Exactly.
So your mother laid a foundation for you.
Exactly.
So someone is watching us right now. Mm-hmm. If we, gaining consciousness or knowing who we are is for everybody. People are watching us. How do I kickstart? Your mother helped you to kickstart. Is there any ways? One who doesn't have anybody, one who is watching us, well, how do I do this? Any structures? Give me 3.
So I asked the same thing, so that like reading this book that I had, my mother's book. So it went on and it says, you need to reprogram your mind. You need to re-engineer your mind because your mind has been conditioned to see your body, to see other bodies, to see other things, and see yourself as separate. But you need some kind of re-engineering. And that re-engineering is usually done by, in the Indians, they call it mantra. They keep chanting something. But my teacher, wanting it to be universal, said it's through the repetition of the name of God. If you keep repeating the name of God within you, silently within you, it transforms your inner being. until at a certain point these teachings start to make sense to you. They say the name of God is God. When you say elephant, there's no elephant here, but we can immediately start to imagine what an elephant is, right? It's the same way that when you pronounce the name of God, then immediately the characteristics of God come into the mind. They start to work inside the mind. The entire body is an embodiment of knowledge. The heart, the lungs, everything, all those things are all part of this whole thing. It's put so wonderfully by John in the Gospel according to John. In the beginning, he says, in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. The Word, the
Word became flesh.
The Word became flesh in the end, but then he goes on to say that Word became life. Life, the life that we have. We are alive. Life. That Word became light, the light of men and women, but the light that they know not because they walk in darkness. That light descended on this earth as Jesus Christ and came and taught us the way to go back to the Father. That light, which I described initially as pure consciousness. Pure consciousness. So when it's pure, then it has all the power. But when it is adulterated, conditioned by life, you know, you are born, you come and lie on your mother's thighs, and then, you know, she smiles at you and says, oh, Akwesi, you understand? And she keeps calling you Akwesi, Akwesi. It gets into your mind, right? So pure consciousness now takes on a name, Akwesi. Then, when you were born, pure consciousness, you thought everything was part of you. But now, all of a sudden, everything is separate from you. You start to take on to things. You say, this is mine. That is mine. The person who claims things to be theirs is called the ego. So the ego starts to be built. So the ego gradually is built on until it replaces and pushes to the side pure consciousness.